All right, let's talk about Trevor Lawrence of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Once again, I'm seeing a lot of criticism of Trevor Lawrence after this game. I'm not really sure exactly why. There's some stuff we can get into, but yeah, I actually thought he played pretty well in this game, and I want to kind of give a film study on what I thought he did well, also what went wrong in the second half, because I think to some degree there's a bit of, the quarterback is the one who always gets the blame. The offense did get shut out in the second half, so what the hell happened there if it wasn't him? And again, he was a part of it. I'm not saying he wasn't. Let's get into all of it. Let's start off with the really good first half, because at halftime, I think we were all thinking, well, Lawrence is back. He's fully found his form. He is the number one overall pick once again, that guy we thought he'd be. The play you see on your screen is a good example where it's a zone coverage concept. The concept can work against the zone that the Jaguars are running. A receiver running kind of really two receivers running routes that are going to get into one Dolphins player's zone. If the Dolphins player stays further deep, then you throw underneath. If he stays underneath, you throw deep. Pretty simple. However, when Lawrence takes the snap, you're going to see right here, this is pretty well played by Miami. I think looking at this, the route I would recommend to throw would be the more underneath one, but neither one is particularly open. So what is Lawrence going to do? Well, watch him decide to throw it to neither of them and instead rushes and picks up a first down right there. That's a really good play by Lawrence. I don't think that many people would have made that play, but he was able to make that work. There was some really, really just good plays, I thought, by Lawrence. Like this play was another one where it's going to be a third down and 10 right here. Brian Robinson running a route that's hopefully going to get past the safeties deep into the end zone. Lawrence is going to take the snap. He looks over the middle, but then is going to fire kind of no look towards the left side of the field, towards the bottom of the screen. And you see that Thomas is open, but this is a tough throw, right? I mean, you got to make it over those Miami players, and you got to get it there in a hurry. But Lawrence does both, and this is the kind of thing of there are some issues with Lawrence's game. Like, I think even in college, there were some issues in his game that people overlooked. But like when you have that kind of arm talent, that's what is going to make up for it. So really good play there. Even this play I thought was really good, where it's going to be a zone coverage concept for the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's a cover 3 zone. Usually these kind of routes can, take on a double team if the safety stays deep. But sometimes you get lucky. The safety comes in on a different route and you get a one-on-one matchup. Lawrence is going to take the snap. He runs the play action and he is going to have a pretty clean pocket, is able to throw it down the field. As of right here, you see Thomas is relatively open, right? But I also like where this ball is going to come in. You see how he kind of made it a little bit underneath, so that Thomas had to slow down a bit, and more over the middle. I know people might look at that as a missed throw, but I actually don't, because it allowed for Thomas to be able to box out Jalen Ramsey on that play. It's kind of understanding the leverage of where your receiver is, and he's able to make the play. Doesn't result in a touchdown, but does result in a flag. So you still got the play because of, I think, good ball placement on that one. And also, I got to talk about something like this. This is a 3rd down and 9 in the first half. There still were some, Jaguars not catching the football type plays, where this concept, it's zone coverage. That route is usually the one where, you can kind of see how it could work, right? Getting into a gap in coverage as there's receivers running routes, hopefully pushing the other 2 players in that area further away. Lawrence is going to take the snap right here. He is going to look in that direction and is going to fire in that direction. And as of right here, it's open. Now, a Miami player is kind of fastly approaching this, trying to make sure that he can make a tackle. But this is a great throw from Lawrence and just a drop by Christian Kirk. It almost looks like he batted it down there, right? I mean, that's just not a great play. And for whatever reason, this just keeps popping up for Jacksonville. The receivers, keep dropping passes. I don't know what it is. It was an issue last year. It's an issue in this game as well. But okay, let's go over to the second half now, because first half, really, strong first half. It wasn't perfect across the board, but it was very good. I mean, on your 5 drives, you had 2 punts, 2 touchdowns, and a field goal. You'll take that every time. We're talking over 3 points per drive. The best offenses in the league usually are under 3 points per drive. So, things are working well. Then the second half happens. Well, what the hell happens? First, you have this drive, which it's going to be starts off with a 3rd down and 5 as they, run the ball, have a short pass for 3 yards, and then have this situation. That route is going to be the one that Lawrence wants to look towards, one that in my opinion, makes sense for him to look towards. Lawrence takes the snap. He's going to fire it there quickly, and I think this is more good defense than anything. I think that was Javon Holland. I think he just did a good job at coming in and breaking that one up. I think that was a good play by Lawrence, a good route, and just better defense. Sometimes that happens. That's why you want to avoid third downs, because sometimes you end up in these situations. So then the next drive happens. It's okay. You're still up 10 points. No worries. And then what's going to happen is this one, where first I got to set up why it's a 3rd and 13. So basically there was a penalty that got them pushed back. They ran the ball to gain 7 yards to get a 3rd and 13 situation, but in a tough spot. Lawrence is going to take the snap. He is going to scramble out as there's pretty quick pressure. Has no choice but to just throw the football away. That just wasn't really an ideal drive. Not a lot Lawrence could have done on that one. It was kind of out of his hands there. The next drive was a very good one where they were able to get the ball all the way to the 1 yard line before fumbling the football. And then you had essentially a 4 and out. They went for it on 4th down and didn't get it. But if you look at the play sheet, Lawrence didn't touch the ball on any of these. So we're already at this point. Lawrence hasn't really done anything wrong. And that's 4 possessions right away where he hasn't really had a chance to do anything. Then going over here, it's still 17-14. So you're still okay if you're Jacksonville at this point. But, the Dolphins scored a touchdown and then they missed a field goal on their last possession. Jacksonville trying to make something happen here. In this one, I think you can put some blame on Lawrence if you want to. He was pressured. The throw is a bit off. Granted, it still went through his receiver's hands, so it wasn't like that off, but I do think you can say that wasn't exactly where he wanted to throw to be. If you want to call it a drop, that's fine, but also, he could have made that an easier throw. I think both things are true. And also, just worth mentioning, in case you're curious, how did we get to this spot? This was the first Lawrence play of this drive, the first Lawrence pass of this drive. They were pretty much running on 1st and 2nd down pretty consistently. And then on the final drive that the Jaguars would have here, they ran it on 1st down, didn't gain any yards. So, again, they were trying to run out the clock throughout this, and they weren't able to, which was a big issue. But anyway, it's 2nd down and 10. Lawrence is going to take the snap. He looks towards the bottom of the screen, and you see as of right here, it's not really open. His first read isn't open. Okay, no worries. We'll get to your next read. Except he can't, because almost immediately after he gets dropped for a sack, and just like that, now it's a 3rd and long again, where you have to try and figure something else out. So what are the Jaguars going to try and figure out? Well, again, something like this, 3rd and 14, that's the situation. Let's see what happens. Once again, Lawrence takes the snap. He looks down the field. Nothing really appears to be open. So what do you do here? Again, Lawrence is just going to get sacked. It's and that was kind of the game. So I don't know. To me, the way I see this was he did a lot of great stuff that put them up 17 points early. The team around him then really struggled to get anything going, and the coaching staff took the ball out of his hands, and that was kind of all she wrote. I think you could make the argument that, hey, you are getting paid like a superstar at this point. You got to find ways to make stuff happen. I don't think that's an unfair argument, but did I think he played poorly in this game? No, I actually think that you would feel pretty happy about his performance if you're a Jaguars fan. Just disappointed in some of the other players' performances is how I would feel. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.